So we should be live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul. Yes, we are hosting tonight, and you'd be surprised there's no other fucker with us, which is a
No.
bit of a change. But I'd like to say hello to everyone in the chat. You have been talking between yourselves about incessant shit as usual.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza, you can go and fuck right off.
Right. It's going to be one of them nights, yeah. So me and Sam, like I say, we haven't done one of these. Have you smashed? I don't know what Goodwill's doing now. Sorry, guys. Me and
gosh.
Sam haven't been on a hostful episode in a while because lots of people seem to want to join in and talk to us for some reason. But
Trying to
tonight,
think.
yeah,
When was it?
Clerks 3 was it?
Was it?
Possibly. Last time it was just me and you.
Me and thee.
Me and you. But
Oh, well.
I've got some business to deal with first. So I've got to get this out of the way because it's been eating away at us all day. Christopher,
Oh, Christopher.
are you watching?
Oh,
I want you to look in the
Christopher.
camera, Christopher. I want you to look deep in. I'm going to take your glasses off as well.
Oh, okay.
The next time you, and I'm talking about you, try and diss the Goonies, I'm going to think. And I've got a special surprise for you as well. So I'll load it up now just to prove that Christoph doesn't believe what he own says. So if anyone likes to see the image that I've just put up, I'm just going to hide the way from the picture of me and Sam for the moment, and it means Christopher is a Goonie. So hopefully that image will show up for everyone at home, and see it now, see it live, and it's Christopher actually taking a live photo of him doing the truffle shuffle.
Sorry, that's like the most obnoxious laugh. Oh, Chris.
Yes.
Oh,
So everyone knows Christopher is a Goonie. So there.
oh, Chris. Goonies never say die.
Yes. And no one fucks with the Goonies.
Oh God.
Yes. So that
Wow,
did happen.
I can totally see where tonight's heading. I really can.
Yes. So,
Oh well. When you get it off the screen, it's still there. Is it gone?
it's gone now, yeah. So it's off. So it's back to Sammy because Sammy has got dressed up tonight, bless her. She's looking all pretty and stuff like that.
Oh, I decided to make an effort. I was like, I've got to wash my hair, so I might as well put my face on. Also, I just want to say before we kick off into everything, big happy birthday to Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Beth had a birthday recently, and I just want to say a big happy birthday to Beth. So everyone say happy birthday to Beth in the chat.
Hello,
please.
Beth. Be nice to Beth.
Be nice to Beth tonight, please.
Yes. And Goodwill be nice to Beth as well. So no beating up Goodwill, or she'll hit you with a crutch. So
we
yes.
also have Goodwill Mod in the chat tonight as well, guys. So be careful.
We've got Modwill. So, yeah. So, not to give you a full lowdown on everything, but this is kind of like a little bit of a new, fresh start for the podcast because I thought it was about time. A bit of spring cleaning, shall we say? Just with the raging success that is Star Trekking up north with Captain Goodwill and Sign Officer Cynoized, and their amazing interview that they did on Friday night with Sean Fennick. That was one of the best things I've ever watched. So thank you, Goodwill. You put the graft in, so well done for that.
And well done, Goodwill. I wish I understood everything you were talking about, but you sounded like you were having so much fun, and just a huge congratulations to Goodwill and to Graham. Star Trek is just massive at the moment.
It is just taking over our Twitter as well. So, and also give Sammy a little bit of praise as well with her kickstarting the Monsters Up North, and that premiere went really well, and it was such a fun thing to see. And I'm looking forward to this Monday's episode with you and Jake and Dan talking about fucking Godzilla. So, yes.
It's so good. It's massive, as I keep saying, because we're talking about the King of Monsters. It's such a good episode. I really hope that everyone can tune in with us on 7:00 on Monday. The time has changed slightly from last week, just because it was a bank holiday, and I finish work at 6:00.
Yeah,
like my work life finishes then.
No, I actually made a mistake. So I realised after you made a post saying, join us at 7 o'clock. I was get 7. I was get, oh shit, I set it to 7:30, so I changed the time today.
Oh.
So working on the fly. So yes. But yes, so I've got a little surprise for Donna as well. So Donna's in the chat.
Ooh.
I just thought I'd get a little friend out today and say hello to everyone as well, so if anyone can see him. Maybe
Oh, little Gizmo.
Little Gizmo. I'm not going to piss on him, so it's fine. And Dinah's just freaked out. Sorry, Dinah.
Oh, we don't need to know that. But thank you so much, Donna. She's saying nice things about us, so thank you.
What's she after?
I'll find out later.
Cool.
We also had, now maybe I should not mention this because it was me who did it, but I am going to mention it. We also had an article published on us this week.
Ah, yes. The lady in the north taking over the nerdy the nerdy culture, shall we say, of the region. So Sammy is the face of the nerds. That's why she's done a face and she's got a chest out as well, guys.
It's boiling, but I'm not ready to go full cleavage yet. The one thing my family members noticed about that article was not the fact that they put my age in there, it was the fact that they called me a miss.
Ah, yes, I was getting as
they called me a miss. I know, they called me a miss, and it's one of my pet hates because I fucking earned that Mrs. title. Like, I have a lot to put up with. And my mum today turned around and said, maybe they just thought you're not marriage material with you being a nerd.
Oh, that you've turned into a nerd and that your husband's left you and nope, we're done with this now. It's finished.
Pretty much. Or you're just not marriage material, Sam. Maybe that's what they thought. It's like, thanks, Mum.
Bless her. And speaking of Sammy's mum, how are you doing, Sammy's mum? Hope you're doing well. And
she's very excited because the holiday is coming up soon.
Bless her. I can't wait to see them photos in an uncreepy way.
Poor Mum.
I'm sure she loves it. But yes.
Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the disclaimer that we do each and every week. And apparently I didn't do on the first ever Monsters podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it. And nobody picked up on it.
How dare you?
I did correct the error and it was in the second one.
Right.
But as I say every week, oh my God, I'm just forgetting what I say every week. I haven't. Everything we discuss in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook groups or the comments in the YouTube channel and we can have an open discussion. What we won't have, though, is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
We are doing our best every single fucking day. But yes, so we thought tonight's episode, with it being a new start, a new thing, we'll just have a bit of a conversation. So Sammy, do you want to...
Yeah, as you say that, as it is a new start, and maybe this just needs to be said more often. How are you doing, Paul? And what have you been watching?
We'll get this over.
Cheers to the max.
It's like when we're doing a wrestling promo now. It's like, I'm Roman Reigns. You will like me. The WWE will make you like me. But yeah, we'll get it over one day. But yes, I'm not too bad. I'm feeling a bit better than I was last week. Like I said, the migraines were a bitch and took us out of action.
Oh, that's right. You weren't here last week.
Yeah, see, I've forgotten about already. But yeah,
so much has happened, and you with the article and trekking and monsters. It's like I totally forgot that you.
To be fair, and it was a Sarah episode, so it was 3 hours. So yes,
that's it. That's what it was.
Yes,
Peach, you and your time.
Oh, but she is lovely. I could listen to her talk all day. Bless her.
I know. And she wasn't feeling very well, and she probably mustered through. So
the little trooper.
She is. What have you been watching? God, I have so much.
Yeah, same here. So I'll start off with a thing I think we can both discuss about, because to be fair, there's quite a few things we can discuss. But I think the topic that'll probably be the hot topic of the moment. How did you like Guardians?
Oh, okay. I don't know if we can go all spoilers
Yeah,
or
fuck it. We're not on the Facebook page. So if you haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy, there's going to be spoilers now, guys. I'm sorry.
spoiler warning.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. I
Okay.
absolutely loved it. It had the family feel as the first one did and the second one did. Rocket's story was,
Mm-hmm.
my God,
Yeah.
High Inquisitor. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck him. Um,
One of the
but
scariest villains Marvel has done since Thanos, I would think.
Tenant, Tenant,
Oh,
Tenant's
Tenant.
probably the
Yeah.
scariest for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. Laura's going to love the fact that we're talking about this because Laura has not stopped talking about this since she went to see it, bless her.
Yeah.
I know people have a lot of issues with Adam Warlock, and when I watched it, I remember saying to Carolyn, if that's what we were getting,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't have used him.
Yeah,
You
100%.
should have just forgotten about it.
Yeah.
However, that last scene
Mm.
was worth it for me. That last end credit scene was absolutely worth it to see him as a guardian. Sorry, everyone, but to see him as a guardian, to see the new team, because I generally don't think this is the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy that we made to believe. I think it's the end of James Gunn's trilogy of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we will get more.
100% agree now, because I think you texted as well that you think Star-Lord's going to be the leader of the next Avengers.
Yeah. No, that wasn't me.
That
definitely was not me. I am not that clever.
All right.
I am not that clever to think that.
No, someone did actually message us and say that, so I think that's where they're going to go with it. But again, I did enjoy it. I'm not in a hurry to watch it again, I'll be honest. It felt like it was 3 different movies fighting for attention all at once. And normally with the Guardians movies, as you said, they have a great soundtrack. This one did have a great soundtrack, but it felt forced. It felt like it didn't gel. It felt like we're going to put this song in here, so now we need something to match with it. And I think they used the wrong Beastie Boys song for the fight scene.
Oh no, I love No Sleep Till Brooklyn for that fucking fight scene.
But it needed to be sabotaged.
So good.
It needed to be sabotaged, though. It would have had a much better beat, and it would have had a bit more of a kick. But I just thought,
I do get you. But wow, what a scene that was. That was amazing. It was the corridor scene, and we've seen some corridor scenes. Daredevil can do a corridor fight scene like no other.
No.
But that was pretty fucking special.
It was good, but and again, probably's I don't want to say I'm shitting on it because I'm not. Because I enjoyed the movie. I just didn't think it deserved everyone loves it, and that's their opinion, and that's for them, which is great. I thought it had a good bad guy. I thought Rocket's story was phenomenal, and the standout story of the thing. It was definitely not a kids movie, and Marvel should acknowledge that. I'll be honest. Yeah. I think a lot of times, a lot of kids that would have freaked them out, especially if the young kids being in love with Rocket and seeing what they've seen. That was not what I was expecting, and that fuck scene. Using the word fuck. Again, I'm not saying I'm a prude or censorship or anything. It wasn't needed. It felt really out of place and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Them are the aspects that kind of took me out of the film and thought, oh, this isn't great. But the whole, again, Quill and I've got a name now. Gamora. Love story thing now. It became uncomfortable. It was almost stalkerish. It was almost to the point where it was like, let it go. It's not the same person as it was.
Yeah. And this is why I love the fact that she went back to the Ravengers, because he needed to stop. I think he knew what he was doing. He was forcing a life on a person who had never experienced the things that she experienced. That's not her. What I fucking loved about Gamora was that's Gamora.
Yeah.
Who we see in that film. That is Gamora from the comics. She can be fucking awful. And to see her with the Ravengers was just perfect. I loved Gamora, and I loved her not being like she didn't give in. She didn't give in to his fucking whining and mourning this person who was no longer there.
Yeah.
She stayed true to herself. Who I loved Rocket's story. Groot, loved him.
Can we talk about
She's
Cosmo, please? Cosmo was just
oh
amazing.
yes, and he
I
was
got
a
actually got
good
upset.
dog.
I got upset when he was kept on saying she was a bad dog. I was like, that's not a bad dog.
She's a good dog.
Yeah.
But how he did that in that moment and just went, no, she's a good dog. And then just the smash. I
Yeah.
loved it. But my standout, and this probably goes through the whole three films
Mm-hmm.
and the Christmas special, is Nebula.
Yeah. She's had such a journey.
She has had such an arc. Like, look at I mean, in the first one, she annoyed the shit out of us, especially with her fucking shouting constantly. This most nonsense word. But she's just gone on such a journey to get to where she is, and her reaction to Rocket
Mm-hmm.
was that just goes to show what their relationship is.
Yeah.
We forget that for 5 years
Mm-hmm.
it was just them two.
Yeah.
And Groot. He give her a new arm.
I didn't have
He's
Groot
obviously
either.
made.
Didn't have Groot. It was just her and Rocket.
Oh, that's right. He lost. Yes, he
Yeah.
lost Groot. God,
Yeah.
forgot about that. So yeah, it was just them two. He's given her a new arm. He's
Mm-hmm.
obviously made changes to her face because if you notice, Nebula didn't have her eye patch, that the mechanism that goes around her eye. So he's obviously been making changes to her in order to probably relieve her of some pain.
Yeah.
So they have such a bond, and oh, I loved it. That I burst into tears when she found out everything was okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get choked up now thinking about it
But,
because it was so bloody moving.
Yeah, and I'll give Laura credit because I know Laura's been banging on about this for so long as well. Like since she's seen it,
Yeah.
she sent me one of them ticky tacky talk things, like
Ticky talks.
Ticky talks. So what the kids are saying, of an explanation of the end with Groot.
Yes.
And that meant so much. And I thought, that's amazing storytelling. And I'm gutted I didn't get it. Because when Groot says, I love you guys.
Yeah.
And
it's
no
like,
one reacts. No one reacts like, oh, he's talking. It's like the audience now are in that place where they understand what Groot's talking. And I thought, and I just start clapping. I was like, well done, Laura. Thank you.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to start crying. I burst into tears when he said it. And then when I realized nobody reacted, I went, oh my God, we can understand him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. That's been the whole fucking point of Gamora getting pissed off that she can't understand him.
Yeah.
And then finally does at the end because she knows, like she's I don't know, it's like she's one of them and we are one of them because we've been on that journey with them. But fuck me, how amazing did Groot look at the end?
Yeah. But it's like as you said, he's went through different formations and different versions of himself now that we've seen every aspect, and it's interesting to see where they go. But the one thing I will give this it was a standalone story. It wasn't advancing any other stories like things like Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That was all like Ant-Man was used as a vehicle to move on to the next phase, where this was just like with the Guardians, and that's where the Guardians started as well. It wasn't an advancement in a way. I know the second one was like towards getting Thanos more involved in the Lumen threat, but and I just love that they used that like element to kind of tell their own story within the Marvel universe, and it worked well.
Yeah.
And again, I know when I first saw it, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I'll be honest, because I expected more because what we've got before. It's not the best one of the trilogy, as people keep saying. It's not. The first one is by far, if you watch them back, the first one has
superior.
And it's a hard thing to say as well. It's almost the perfect movie, like in every way, like every performance and everything. And it is one of the best Marvel movies that was made, and still is. Fact. Where the third one has its faults, but that was down to my probably personal taste, and I'm not going to be one of those people that just like says, "Oh, everyone likes this. I'll pretend I like it."
I'm gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah, I'll do the other thing as well. But but yes, because I know the chat's like saying, "Oh, please tell us when we stop talking about." So we'll stop talking about Guardians now. So you can tell everyone to come back and
come back,
and join us.
Unmute us.
Yeah. So what other things have you been watching there, Sammy?
Oh my gosh. One that's just popped up on the scroll that goes across. Evil Dead Rise.
Yes.
Is another 4. I actually I actually did this one by myself.
Mhm.
I actually went to the cinema
Brave
by
bastard.
myself.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely shitting my pants but I should have remembered who was actually telling me how scared they were, because I know what you were like. So I was like, I was basing everything off what you were saying. And yeah, it was uncomfortable and it was gory and it was fucking fantastic, but I was fine. I
Yes.
wasn't as bad as I thought I was going to be.
There was
You
no
projecting
jump.
your fear on me.
There was no jump scares. That was the thing.
That was the only thing I was worried about,
Yeah.
because I'm going by myself, and I've seen myself react to a jump scare even with when I was sitting with somebody, and it's not pretty. So I didn't want that to happen by myself.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I would give Evil Dead credit for. There was no jump scares, and I think it was a better film because of it. It was
Didn't
more.
rely on them.
It was more uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and again, I know it wasn't a complicated film, but it didn't have to be. It just had to be telling a simple story, and the brutality how they went about it was just wow. Like, because you see kids in movies and you think, the kids are going to be fine. These kids were not fine.
These kids were not fine. And I felt exactly the same way. I was like, it's okay, you can breathe. Like, nothing's gonna happen to these. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It did. The cast was fucking phenomenal. What's her name? Alyssa Sutherland? Am I saying it?
Is that the one who played the mum?
Yeah, the mom.
I was confused sexually with that because I was like, I find her really attractive, but I don't.
As
shouldn't
a Deadite.
be. Yeah. I was like,
yeah,
do I fancy in zombies now? And is that going to be a new kink that's going to be awoken in me?
I am not one for getting autographs at conventions. I'm quite like it make my anxiety goes like up the roof thinking about it. But genuinely, like she's gonna be it for Love of Horror.
Yeah.
I just loved her so much. The sister,
yeah,
like the counterpart, she is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
The scenery, the cinematography, the blood, the references, the fact that Bruce Campbell is actually in it.
Was he?
He was one of the voices on the tape.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So they still had Brucey in there, as part of it. Even though he's not in it, he's still very much a part of this franchise, which I just absolutely love. My God, Goodwill, you're hiding me chat with your bloody paws. But yeah, I absolutely adored this film. I really, I want my husband to watch it, but he's not like a gore person, so I don't know how he would feel about it. But I want him to watch it for the story.
Yeah. No, the story-wise, I enjoyed. There was a few uncomfortable scenes where I had to literally turn away. Like the glass eating scene just had me when you saw this poking through the skin.
I was just sitting there with my popcorn, just like, hey.
I'll never look at a cheese grater the same way. It was just, and the guy, there's a guy on Instagram. I can't remember his name now. I'm such a dick, but he's the one that's doing the Michael Myers house for me, like the thing diorama.
Oh, yeah.
What he did when the movie came out, he made some custom cheese graters with blood covered on and with Evil Dead Rises on the side of them, and they were selling like fucking hotcakes. People were like buying, but they were just nasty looking rusty things. I was like, nope.
How amazing was the lead up to this though? The trailers, the promotion,
getting very little,
yes, little, getting so little, but so much anticipation for it. Like I saw the trailer at when I went to see Scream. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, even if I have to sit by myself, I will watch this. And I ended up doing that. I was the saddest person in the room. I was the only one by myself.
Being judged.
But do you know what, though? I generally didn't care.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see this. And even experiencing it by myself was... like that was something, so I was dead proud of myself.
Did you take a carrier bag though? Because like anyone who goes to the cinema by myself that I've seen, they always have to have a carrier bag with something hidden inside. It's secrets, like probably porn mags or a child's head.
Well, see, because it's men and they don't carry bags. I had quite a big handbag and had because I learned my lesson from when I went to see Scream. I bought a popcorn and a drink, and I'm like by myself, and I'm like, oh shit, how the hell am I going to open the door? So this time I was like, take a bottle of pop and put it in your bag. and then just buy some popcorn so you've got a spare hand. I've been taken out by a cinema door before, and
Right.
someone's come busting through it because they've spilt the drink and they're really pissed off, and I was on the other side. So I'm always quite wary of them doors.
See, Kelly's just put something in the chat. She
Yeah.
takes wine, so she wouldn't be someone I want to sit next to, because if she gets pissed and rowdy, I'm like, oh no, she's talking through the movie.
Yeah, I don't ever want to go to the cinema with you, Kelly, if you are drinking wine. I'm sorry. I want to watch it.
But yes. So no, I really enjoyed it. It was one of them ones where it was either going to be really good or really bad, and I was glad it, like I say, lived up to the hype and lived up to, because not many bad things are being seen about it as well, though. That's the positive thing, and especially after, because the last one got a lot of love and hate because it was like a mixture. I didn't mind it. I didn't
mind it. I actually watched it before I went to see it, so I generally didn't mind it.
But my question is this a follow-up to that one, or is this again just another different version? Just a different version?
I guess it's just a different version. There's no reference to it that I believe. But I love the fact that it was a full circle story.
Right.
You start at the end, at the beginning.
Yeah.
To come all the way back around again.
Do you think we're going to get more from it now, though, as well? Just because how we've got the success of it, and
I do, but I don't want them to fucking flog it like horror does.
Well, talking about flogging it like horror does, let's talk about the next thing we've been watching. I watched the new Scream movie.
I saw the Scream movie.
Yes.
That is flogging a dead horse.
To be fair, they did try something new this time that really did work. And I was taken aback, because I know we've seen the first trailer and they saw the museum and everything. We're like, oh god, this is. And then we had the whole argument and debate where you said Stu's going to be the killer. Stu's never going to be the killer again.
I still stand by that statement, because by the time Scream 10 comes out, because you know it's going to happen, Stu will be the killer. Guarantee it. Promise.
When they've got no other options just to give the fan service that people do.
Nothing else to do.
Yes.
There's no other connections to people anymore. Yeah, they're going to bring Stu Mocker back.
Possibly. That could be, but this was such a surprise, because you got the beginning bit, you got the lass from Truth or Dare and the babysitter, like the and you thought, right, great, that's going to be like the Drew Barrymore moment, starting all over again, and how they introduced that character in, really done it nicely, and they used the old same tropes. You think, oh, it's going to go the same way as before, and the thing you see, they take the mask off the killer.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit. I was good. I don't know where they're going to go with this now. And it's Flash Thompson from, I don't know the guy's name, from Spider-Man as well.
Was that him?
Yeah, it was the guy who played Flash Thompson from Spider-Man. So I was like,
right.
so it is a big name actor, like in the role. I was like, okay, I'm getting on board with this. They're going to show us Scream backwards, like how he's like doing all these things. And I like it how now it's more like Scream has become a cult and people are just following it, Ghostface has been a cult and it's become that type of way, and then they reverted back to type and done it well though. I really enjoyed it. They weren't killing like say names again, they were going after the people, but the kills were more brutal. They were more like first time Ghostface had used a gun, I think, not really seen before.
Well, Billy uses a gun, but he's not as Ghostface. Like, he shoots Jamie Kennedy in the shoulder, but he's not dressed as Ghostface.
Yeah.
The kills were brutal. Like, absolutely brutal. That ladder scene was horrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific. But I loved the museum. I wanted to go so badly.
I thought that was really entertaining. But again, I didn't hate the reveal, but I hated the overacting after the reveal.
It was such a Scooby-Doo moment.
Yeah.
It was. Do you know what? I really wish it was Kirby.
Yeah. It would have been.
I was like, it would have been so much better if it was Kirby.
Yeah.
But I don't see the reasoning behind the connection to them two with Kirby.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a Scooby-Doo moment.
But that was the thing. I just went, to the extreme. It's like, oh yeah, you killed my son and my brother, but yeah, he was killing people. Deal with it. Your son was a fucking wacko. You're a police officer. You should have done better as a father.
Yes.
Deal with that
really
element.
You need to man up. I wish they killed Gale properly.
Yes.
I wish that was the end of Gale, because then that's, apart from Sydney, which is like a player that could come in at any time, and I like that aspect. I would like the two, like, we've lost Dewey, we lose Gale.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't have to put up with that anymore.
No, but they'll bring elements in, because I don't think, as you said, Sydney's story's not been finished. I think if they weren't going to bring her back for this movie, I know it was down to money, and like I said, Neve Campbell knew what she was worth and put up a fight, which fair enough. I'll give that. If that was always going to be the case, they should have told us that she was dead. I would have been happy just knowing she was dead, and rather than like saying, "Oh, she's not getting involved this time." It's like, fair enough. They've moved on to new scream queens, and Jenna Ortega is going to be massive because she's doing big things, especially in the horror genres as well now. It's just, if you want to move on properly, cut the cord and let go, if that makes sense.
It does massively. I wasn't annoyed by the character Sam in this one.
Yeah.
The first one, she just, I don't know, she must have had a lesson or two, because her acting was reading straight from a script.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like she was just reading off a piece of paper. There was nothing behind it. And especially when you're up against Jenna Ortega, who is phenomenal. I mean, God, I can't count what I've seen her in, like, so many horrors recently. She's just great. But she upped her game in this one.
100%. What I'm going to do, like, say at this moment, because I know we're still talking about reviews, but because I know the chat is a little bit behind us when we are talking about live as well. So if anyone wants to throw a question to us as well, I'll keep an eye out, and I'll try and ask the better questions, so potentially Donna's might get ignored. I'm not going to...
Maybe Kelly's.
Well, it depends. Kelly's not drinking Kelly's milking, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
But like I say, so if you just want to throw some questions at us as well, we will try and answer your questions while we're talking, and we'll try and keep up with you crazy fools as well.
You guys are all over the place.
Yeah, but so are we, to be fair.
It's true.
So Beth is asking as well as one of the questions, are you looking forward to Beetlejuice 2? Has that been fully announced, has it?
Yeah. 26th or 24th of October next year. We got Beetlejuice 2. We got Jenna Ortega on board. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Right. Danny Elfman is signed up to do the music.
Yeah.
That's as far as I know. I'm really excited because it's just now, it's been so long, I'm kind of just more intrigued.
Yeah. And Christoph is trying to be cheeky as well and ask us what my favourite Lord of the Rings movie up. So I've just put his Goonies picture up just for a few more seconds for him to enjoy as well there. So, yeah, I'm a vicious person. Don't worry.
It's Return of the King, Chris. Just because it reminds us of them Jedi.
There's only one king. Returning is not the king. As Chris too will always say. But yes, to be fair though, if I was going to say a favourite film, it's probably The Two Towers. It's the most entertaining bit, and it hasn't got 17 million endings. So
it's got the Battle of Helm's Deep. Of course, it's the best one.
Definitely.
Why does Paul like Lord of the Rings more than Star Wars? Now that is a Donna question.
Oh, poor Donna. I haven't got time to Photoshop Donna into something yet, so I'll just have to get revenge on her.
Your time will come, Donna.
I'll not forget. As I say, I'll never forget there. But yes. But yeah, we were talking about Scream. So where do you see the franchise going now? Do you see, because after this one, it's been a successful movie.
It's been massive.
Yeah, so it's kind of like brought Scream back on the map a little bit.
I think they'll do one more. And then I think they'll have a break for it a bit. They'll keep it in kind of like I don't know, because it's not a trilogy. The original is not a trilogy. There's friggin' 4. Like, it's not the original, but there was 4 before they had their big break, so maybe another 2.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know, but where else can you? Who else is she pissed off? Or are we gonna have like
grandkids saying you killed off my grandfather and stuff like that?
Exactly. Or are we gonna have like a Billy connection, where we find out Billy wasn't just killing the people that we knew. He done someone else over, and so they're getting revenge on his. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know where it ends with her,
Yeah.
like, or even where it starts, because it's all
Mhm.
caught up, really.
No, sorry. And I know you mentioned like we've been talking about films a few times, like because we've
Mhm.
probably got other films to talk about as well. But
Oh God, I've got loads.
what about TV shows? Have you been watching anything new TV wise?
No, you know what I've been watching? I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and we
That's fine.
finished it.
I've got a picture of Brooklyn Nine in, so it's fine. We can talk
Oh,
about.
cool. I finished it again last night. This was our second running.
Yeah.
And so we watched the last episode and
Mhm.
then watched the first one.
Right.
And again, and I burst into tears on the first one
Mhm.
because the end conversation with Holt and Peralta is
Mhm.
where he goes, they're talking, like, obviously saying how proud he is and everything, and then he goes, what, like a robot? Beep up, beep up,
Bup,
beep
bup,
up,
bup.
up, up, up. If you go back to the first episode,
Yeah, it's such a nice callback.
he does it on the first ever episode,
Mhm.
and I burst into tears, and I was like, woo!
But that's the thing as well. They mention as well, like he's got daddy issues in the first episode as well, and like the callback at the end is going, if you were my son, I would be proud of. I would be proud.
Mhm.
And
It was such a massive moment. Yeah, I bawled my eyes out. What there's one joke, yeah, kind of just to think about it just makes us burst into laughter, not
Mhm.
tears, laughter. It's when Boyle's talking about his cousin, and he goes, "Oh yeah, my cousin Susan didn't know she could sing until she was 45," and just walks away. I sat there for a minute and went,
Hmm.
"Susan, fucking hell." And I couldn't stop laughing.
They went the
And
long way for that one.
But Ant keeps saying it all the time. He just stands there deadpan looking at us going, I didn't know that my cousin Susan could sing until she was 45.
But because this is your second time watching it all the way through from start to finish, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There's anything that you picked up from the second watching that you might have not got from like the first watching? Because I know the first watching is just like a whirlwind of just getting hit
Trying
with
to
just
take
comedy and like there's some that hit you slap in the face, but like as you said, there's the little ones that you kind of miss.
and that one was one of them.
Mhm.
I didn't. I think I knew this from the first time round how special Charles Boyle is.
Yeah.
But to watch him the second time around, knowing what I knew,
Hmm.
I just fell in love with him even more. He is like the friend you want to have because it doesn't, like, Peralta really annoys the shit out of me sometimes. I think he's a great character, and there's nothing to really, you can't say you hate him, but he can be quite annoying, and it's probably more the fact it's the authority thing in him, like he can't follow orders.
Yeah.
And Boyle's not like that, like, and it's, I don't know, he really it gets on me tits. But there was one thing that Ant brought up. And bearing in mind, Ant's never met Goodwill before,
Right.
but he has heard me talk about his frosted tips. And Ant turned around and went, and when the episode came on, Ant went, "Yeah, have you sent Goodwill that picture?"
So you got what you're saying? Ant wants us to grab Goodwill and tie him to a chair and shave his frosted
And show
tips.
him. Do you know when Charles Boyle does it? When Boyle comes in and he's like, "Oh yeah, I see it." He was like, "Do you want to have that moment and get frosted tips and see if he notices?" I'm so sorry, Goodwill.
Bless him. Bless him. No, I adore the show. I probably was on my sixth or seventh run through now. There's episodes that, like, it's one of them shows. There's a lot of shows that you can watch and you can never get tired of. There's always an episode that you can skip, but there's certain episodes that bring you to your knees laughing or crying. It's an all around, like, as I said, anyone who hasn't watched it, I will always tell them to watch it because it's clever comedy, but because of the people behind it, because like say the Andy Sambergs and like Adam Sandler and stuff. I know, like say, I think he had something to do with like producing it and stuff like that. Nobody really gets like thinks it's going to be as meaningful and as poignant it is, but it touches on every element and everything that you love about comedy or like even American culture.
Absolutely. 100%. The final season was so cleverly done. We know that it was rewritten because of the time that it came out and what the state of America was like.
Yeah.
at that point. And it was so cleverly done that they acknowledged that, because what comedy show would do that?
Had balls, and like, as you said, just to say, oh, this is our final season that we're going to do. Scripts in the bin. We're going to flip it and do it this now, because it was always said that this was going to be the last season, and I'll always have like say an enormous respect for whoever made that decision, because they are like say you've got black actors, you've got Hispanic actors, you've got like say every race, like say and gender involved in that, and all get the time to shine, and it's just well done in a way that they get it right, and it's almost like, as you said, like the first, like until the last season of Scrubs, similar situation. They got things right, because like I know when you talk, like they did interviews with like medical professionals and stuff, they went, oh, like which show nails the medical profession more, and they were expecting to say like ER or like say another. I don't watch many of them, but they said Scrubs is probably as close as like say that it gets to real hospital life, and it is, and that's a fucking comedy show, and I think that's just amazing.
It really is. What was I going to say about Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Rosa in that decision making to leave the NYPD and to go into private detectives because she wanted to help more people. Holt and Amy, and I must have missed this first time round, but Holt and Amy doing their reform program.
Yep, to take away like say like showing like how to actually police rather than discriminate and like say thing, but absolutely amazing. But
it's such a good series, and I'm not ashamed to say that we have put the first episode back on and left it on. It's comfort to us. Like we love comfort telly, and we get in such a like Big Bang, Always Sunny, and now Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They're our comfort programs. They're our familiar voices that we just like to hear in the background.
Friends from afar.
Yes. Friends in the telly.
Bless you. So I'm going to get some questions out the way because they've been asking some questions. So Jake asked, "Hey guys, question for you both." I'm not going to do Graham's impression of Jake because I think it was a little bit unfair of him. But yes, but basically, what would you guys do if you won the lottery? Oh, so what would you do, Sammy?
Oh, what would I do? Oh my God, I'm so boring. I'd buy a house. Oh my God, I don't know.
Just say this, or you wouldn't see me and Sammy's mum for a while. We'd have a getaway or an adventure in Vegas, just me and her. I'll give her the time of her life.
Oh my God.
The best 30 seconds she'll ever forget. It's fine.
Oh God, what would I do if I won the lottery? I'd make sure my family's okay.
Oh, she's being sensible now. Come on, admit it. You'd buy you buy your own hobbit ball and move to New Zealand.
Do you know what I'd buy? I wouldn't. Oh my God, yeah, I would actually. I'd buy that Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
In a fucking heartbeat, I would buy that Jar. It would be my first purchase. Would be that Jar Jar.
And would have a video of Sammy hugging the Jar Jar and being all like, "Say this is my Jar Jar. No one else can have him."
And then I'll buy a house big enough to put me and said Jar Jar in, and just that's it. Happy days. What would you do?
I'd gone nuts, to be honest. Like, me with money would not be a good thing, because look at this. This is me with no money, and this is the stuff I'm buying now. I would have my own bat cave I would live in. I would have like my own cinema. That's always been my dream since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to own a cinema. Like, I know, but have the main films on, like, say, when you do, but then have like certain days where you could show the old classics. Like,
amazing.
And again, I would love to, like, as you said, if you won the lottery, I wouldn't have to worry about overheads, and I would have someone employed to do it. And again, if loads of people turned up, it wouldn't be like end of the world type thing or like that type of thing. But imagine like saying, giving someone the first chance of watching Ghostbusters on a big screen.
On the big screen. Oh, God.
First chance to watch the Goonies on the big screen. Like, that type of thing is something I've always wanted to do, and that's probably why I've always loved going to the cinema because it always holds a
Yeah.
special place for it
Well,
there.
when I went to go and see Return of the Jedi
Hmm.
on the big screen, like, remember I've seen this film like a million times at home,
Hmm.
and then to see it on the big screen, like that was an experience. So I think I would lose my marbles if I ever got to see Ghostbusters on the big screen. I think the person sitting next to us will regret it instantly because I'll be seeing the lines before they've even happened, which I do at home. So don't sit next to us if we're going to see Ghostbusters on the big screen. I'm just putting it out there.
No, that's right. Goodwill's keep telling people to go on a questions tab. I can't see the questions tab, so sorry.
Yeah. Can you just tell us what they are?
But Donna asked a question as well. So, how many times have you seen Ghostbusters?
I couldn't tell you. Generally couldn't give you a number. It is you not even to count as an adult, like how many times I saw it as a kid. Like I used to watch it, rewind it, and watch it again. It was constantly on.
Yeah, I'm just laughing
So,
at Lee saying he would buy the rights to Ghost Watch and make sure he can post it.
oh, Lee.
Don't worry, we have got the episode saved. If anyone wants it, I'm happy to send them it.
It was a good watch.
Yes.
You will watch my soul physically leave my body on that episode. I'd buy some Woodlands with a streamer. Oh, Sarah.
Sarah's a
That's
good
so
soul,
nice.
bless her. She's like putting us to shame. We're just like the bunch of ruggins, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm an innocent
Like
soul."
I want to buy a Jar Jar. She wants to buy a bloody woodland
Woodland fairy.
area with woodland creatures.
I want to buy a tree. I'm still trying to find this thing.
Well, I have a tab there, but it's just if I want to ask myself something.
All right.
I don't know. I don't. Goodwill, please
Please help us. We are lost.
help. We don't know.
Goodwill, you're our only hope. Help us, Goodwill. You're now turned into Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right.
Oh, we'll wait for Goodwill to get back to us. Television. So I'm guessing you've watched a lot of television.
I've watched a lot of shit television.
Well, that doesn't surprise us.
So I've went on the realms of watching a few history programs not history about history TV, and we know how amazing that always works out. It's almost as good as the Discovery Channel. But I really want to talk about like Eli Roth's Urban Legends, because I've been banging on this for about a week, and me and Nick's absolutely, it was one of them where we could have, I think there was 10 episodes that we could have smashed off within 2 days, but we saved it to 2 episodes a night. And it's very American, but it has got a few like British directors involved and stuff, but it's very low budget. And if you expect the acting to be great, you might be sorely disappointed, because the acting is a bit shit, but the stories they tell are quite interesting. But they do different takes on the classic urban legends.
Right.
Like one of them that made me actually feel physically sick was the waking up without a kidney. You know, the bathtub.
Oh, it's the black market.
Yeah. So, but they change it this way, where not to give. Well, I can't. It's going to be spoilers. Sorry. Basically, he woke up in a bed, not a bath of ice. Had the kidney removed, but he already had one kidney removed, so he had no kidneys left, and he was stressing out about it. And the reasons why was quite well done, but it was just, I've never felt so queasy or felt sick watching a program. They did a tale on the woman in white when she changed the white dress. So it was about a white dress.
Hasn't that been done on Supernatural?
Yep. It was, like I said, most of these have been done on Supernatural. I'll be honest, that's why Supernatural was good, when it was doing the like the urban myths and stuff. But I know Jake loves like the urban laws and stuff, so I think it would be right up his street. But the last one was the most bizarre, weird one, and I don't know why they ended it. It was about a scuba diver being stuck in a forest fire.
A scuba diver being stuck. Stuck in a forest fire.
Yep. So basically, he was in a lake, and there was a forest fire. He didn't realize, and you know, when in America to put out a forest fire, they scoop up water from the lake and dump it in.
Yeah.
So that he got scooped up when he was scuba diving in the lake, not realizing he was there, and dumped in the middle of the forest fire.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So it was like Scuba Steve, but yeah.
No.
But that was like I was
Ah,
here. It was pure entertainment, and I know not to tell too much about it because I know you haven't watched it. But if you like horror stories, especially like the only 30-minute, 40-minute episodes as well, so there's nothing like too engross, but just well told stories. If that makes sense, like you can forgive the acting being cheesy and bad, but
yeah.
but it's just well good stories, and they're not out there for gross out, and there's a lot of practical effects.
Oh wow. That's saying something coming from Eli Roth. When I think of him, and like I think of gore, like I think of
Mm.
Hostel,
Yeah.
gore, gore to the max.
Mm.
But watching him do his horror programs, like I just get a full appreciate that he's not just gore.
Yeah.
That
100%.
it's not just gore for him, and I think I've appreciated and realized that through the programs. I want him to do more, but it's like, how much more can you do in the realms of horror? Like he's broken down to the bare minimum that you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
But I really love them programs that he's done, so I'll definitely give it a watch.
Yeah, it's they've got new people coming into the horror scene. I think it was filmed last year, but he's producing it. So they've got these different directors, and some of the episodes, because I watched it on the Dodgy Box, I'll be honest, it had interview with the directors after. So it had Eli Roth talking about them and going through like the thought process and how they planned out making these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first episode was so well done. It was about like a pretend snuff movie where they were shooting online, pretending they were killing
Oh.
people or torturing people. But then
Mm-hmm.
there was like a robbery going go wrong, and she actually goes through with it, and then the money that she got doubled, so she gets kind of like a take. It's like on the scroll going past now, it's like the woman with the spiky mask, but it's so well done. Um, but yeah,
I definitely want to give it a watch. But I want to watch it because it'll be well up Ant's street. Like he loves
mhm,
anything to do with like urban legends.
mhm.
Have we found out where this question box is yet?
No, I don't know. Goodwill's doing his best, bless him. I think it's for people to ask questions, but I don't know if it actually shows up. It says, "What do you want to ask Sammy Q&A?" But I can't see if the actually
No,
questions
we
are come.
can't. We can't see it. So just keep putting them in the chat for now if you've
Yeah,
still got any questions for us.
but I'm going to blow your mind with the next thing I've watched. So you thought Moonshiners was bad. This
Oh
is
God.
The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch.
Do you know what? Obviously, I had a feeling this was coming in because the pictures on the promo
Mhm.
picture,
Yeah.
but I forgot. I forgot that you watched this.
Well, this is the fourth season of it now,
Wow.
and they're trying to discover these things. And with American TV, these reality shows, you don't know what's half real and half what not. They've got an
Yeah.
actual NASA scientist involved in the actual, like the
Or a real
scientific,
life one.
like probably, and the things that they're doing, it's weird and strange, and like saying they're trying to prove there's these anomalies or events that's happening at Skinwalker Ranch because there's all these local legends about skinwalkers, but aliens, cattle mutilations. If you dig in the ground, bad things happens to people. There's high doses of radiation for some reason, high doses of gamma rays. So I keep expecting the Hulk to come in, but
Where the oh, seriously,
mhm,
I would chomp on a gamma stick just to get
get a bit
some form of Hulk power.
the Hulk power. Um, but yeah, and like this week's episode, I've never pissed myself laughing so much because they've got this triangle where like loads of things like GPS stops working, where they keep saying there's things there, and if they fire stuff in the air, UAPs as they call them appear. So they've been firing these rockets, and the rockets are like NASA made, like all the gears, and they keep exploding at 30 feet. It's like, and they go up in this triangle. When they hit 30 feet, the engine kind of blows up, and they've
Uh-huh.
had these loads of these problems. And they had a recording, like they've done like super slow mo camera and high definition. And in the thing that when they changed like the filter, there was like a mist at 30 feet that was there, and it was exactly where the rocket hit blew up.
Fuck.
So it's kind of like the most bizarre shit you've ever seen. Every time they try and drill in this mountainside, all the equipment break down. or when they were breaking it, they couldn't get a drill through because there was this metallic like thing that's only been found in outer space in there, but they can't get in to do anything because people actually start having like head injuries or like or pass out due to like digging
I'm
in
not
this
surprised
bit.
someone hasn't fucking died.
Possibly, but the last episode as well, they were doing these thing, and a Black Hawk helicopter flew over to see what they were doing. So they're being monitored by the government now. So.
Oh my god! So I know you watch them. Does Nick watch them?
No, Nick hasn't got she's got knee time at the day for this type of shit.
I thought.
Yeah, she
I
just
thought
laughed
this
at
is
it.
all you.
She just thought she won't even watch fucking Moonshiners. She just looks at us in disappointment.
Oh, she is missing a treat.
Yes,
she is missing an absolute treat. That was special.
Yeah.
There's been a few questions.
Cool. So, which question do you want to go for there?
If you had to pick one podcast episode, would you like to redo and why?
All right.
I fucking think of the ones I've already done would be helpful.
If you could redo an episode, did they say?
Yeah,
you could pick one episode and redo and why. I would probably like to do. It's hard to do again because you feel like you're talking about the same subjects over and over. There's loads of stuff I would like to revisit. Like I know we've talked quite a lot about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I would love to do it like get someone on like Sarah or even Donna on as well, like people who've watched the show and just give their opinion on it as well. Because I know
get a different perspective because we know ours.
Yeah, because we can tell you what we love and what we don't love, but I don't mind going back over a subject if it's got a point. Because I know we've talked about vampires in an episode before, but then when we done the Buffy episode, that was just phenomenal, having different viewpoints and different fans telling them why they do enjoy it. That's always exciting for me, and I kind of enjoy. I know Christoph asked what favorite guest, dead or alive, Sammy.
Oh my god! It's always and forever, and I think I'm probably going to speak for you too.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me I'm wrong, but I think it'll be Kevin Smith.
Oh yes, he's in my top 3. I would love to have on
3.
He'd probably be 3rd. Sean Astin will always be number 1. And I would not talk about the Walken film. It would always be about the Goonies.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No.
No, absolutely not. You can't have Sean Astin on with both of us and just expect to talk about the fucking Goonies when I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. It's an ideal guest. It's best of both worlds.
The Goonies is the most iconic movie in cinema history.
But he was the biggest hero in movie history.
But he was Mikey.
Big massive trilogy.
He's Mikey giving them big eyes. Going,
gosh.
That all changes, Sam. That all changes, Sam, when we go climb up out on that bucket and leave everything behind.
Fuck off.
Goonies never say die.
But, oh my god. So Sean Astin's who's 2?
I'm gonna say probably I've got a name now. Felicia Day.
Felicia Day. Yeah. That is such a good one. Felicia's is it Felicia or Felicia?
So Kevin Smith will probably be 2, I'll be honest, but Felicia will probably be 3. So that'll be my top 3 guest I would love to have.
I absolutely adore her. Her podcasting skills have improved, if that's anything. I heard her back in the day when she was on Nerdiness, and she is a very nervous person. And she hosts her own podcast now, and she's so much like her confidence. You can tell she is uber nerd, uber stereotypical nerd, but she is such a sweetheart. Oh, that's cool. I think mine will always be Kevin Smith. Just because of the love of podcasting comes from him.
Yeah, I like say he's the one that not inspired us, because like I said, this was always your idea, but the format and the way we did it was always based on Fat Man Beyond. And if you want to watch it, especially his older ones, when it, like say, talking about different movies and the way the discussion goes, that's where we I would like to say borrowed a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, maybe stole a little bit. If you actually, his Batman Beyond is amazing, but Fat Man on Batman in the early days when he first started, and all he did was have Batman character actors or actresses voice or in film come on. He did a podcast with Grant Morrison that lasted, I'm going to say, a day over 5 hours, and
so, Peachy, you've got some work to do.
it got split up into 2 parts, but quite honestly, I have fallen asleep to Grant Morrison because Ant would just stick it on, and we'd get to a certain point, and we would remember where we are, and then the next night we would do the same, and we went through weeks doing that just to try and get the full episode in. His interviewing tactics is yes, Kevin can talk. Yes. We know that, we understand that, but he is so passionate about what he's talking about that the other person bounces off that. So the conversation is just phenomenal. Honestly, his Fat Man on Batman, like the early years, please go and check it out.
Definitely. And as you said, because he went from a movie maker to when he realized like the type of podcasts he can do and talk about things that he loved. I think that's where he kind of got involved with it. And he basically, any podcast that he was involved with was always funny. Like Hollywood Babylon's always a good one.
Hollywood Babylon is my favorite. I still listen to it today. I listened to it from the very start when they were in the Smod Castle, and then they moved to the John Lovett's Comedy Theatre. Some of the best drama came out of John Lovett's in the Comedy Theatre because they had a massive falling out. However, the episodes went, because Kevin, obviously, with him being still a working director, there's times when he's not there, and John Lovett's filled the stage, and they are some of the best fucking episodes ever. Him and Ralph Garman worked brilliantly together. Let's have a see.
I've just got Lee's just sent us a fuck ton of emails, questions.
I'll stop looking in the chat then.
So Beth's just asked, she asked a while ago, what is your favourite cereal? I don't eat cereal.
Okay, so on a morning I eat bran flakes. But I fucking love Rice Krispies. But because I'm trying to be good, I eat bran flakes. I love Rice Krispies.
No, like I say, I've never been a breakfast fan, to be fair, though. So toast and salmon.
If I can avoid it, I will. But if not, I have bran flakes.
So here's an interesting question for you, Sammy. So we're going to get very serious now.
Oh, okay, I put me serious pants on.
Yeah, oh, she's got pants on, guys. Don't worry.
I actually don't.
But Christopher asked, what is your ultimate goal you imagine for Nerdy Up North? So I'll ask you. I'll give you that one first there.
Oh, originally, I just wanted a place to come to get out what it is that was building it. Like I love talking. You can clearly tell.
Yeah.
But I also love talking about what I love, and I like sharing that. And I just wanted to be able to get that out. And as it's gone on, and I'm realizing there's more and more people out there who want to do that. I just want a safe place for people to have these conversations and not be judged and not. Am I being too serious?
No, that's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Like I say, we can take the rough for the smooth. That's fine. Like I said, go for it. It's a serious question, so yeah.
But yeah, I would love to take this all the way. I'm not going to lie. Why would I not think that, given what we've managed to achieve so far?
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that's something that's going to take time, and we're going to work on. And believe you me, we have so much in the fucking pipeline coming up. It's going to be such an amazing change for the podcast. But I love the idea that we have a community. We have our guys in the chat who are with us every week, and we all have that safe place to have these conversations and take out all of the negativity that comes with nerdism. I didn't realise my cat had also walked in as well. I'm sorry. Hi.
Right. honest answer from me, I had no fucking idea. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just needed, as Sammy said, to get something out of us.
Mhm.
And I am very a creative person when it comes to it. And if I'm not doing creative things, I become quite stifled and um going in not in bad places or anything like that. I'm not going to bring the tone down, but it it just needed an outlet,
Mhm.
and I was missing that, and that's where it stemmed from. And as you said, you made me do this podcast, and I never thought it would be something I would probably enjoy because I hate people. Sorry, guys, I'm not the people person. I've never been a. I am a people pleaser. I'll like to me detriment. I'll go
Well,
out my way.
obviously, because that got me way.
Yeah, I do go out my way to try and keep everyone happy, and that doesn't always work out the best for me or the best for what we're doing, shall we say. Um, I love seeing people grow, and that's one thing I have so much enjoyed, and I've got so much love for seeing the confidence people like Donna coming out of her shell.
Yeah,
Um, like some of the things that she posts, like when she done like that music video where she was just dancing
Eh,
to, was one of the funniest things I've seen. Seeing Jake's confidence grow on Twitch,
yeah.
seeing Goodwill become basically the scariest motherfucker on the internet.
The most professional motherfucker on the internet.
Um, seeing them elements and feeling like I've not not did it for them or anything like that, but helped or like give them the thing. Seeing Sammy like come alive, like honestly, I know like you see the Sammy thing, but she is quite shy and she's not as brass and as in your face as she likes to come across on here. She's but seeing that side of her come out as well, it's just lovely to see. There's been bumps in the road. Not gonna lie, I've made a lot of mistakes in this.
Probably gonna be more.
Probably going to make
It's
more. I am going to learn from the mistakes. I will always try and be honest and open with everyone I deal with. That's the one thing I will always try and promise. But
yeah,
yeah, the weird thing is, though, I've gotten more out of it than I ever thought I will, and I will keep pushing to get us further.
yeah,
And I think having the right people on board who know what we want to do,
hmm
that's important, and that's the way
yeah,
forward now. And again, looking everything I want to do and how I want to do it. And again, I'll probably say it now live on air. I am going to be selfish and fuck with certain things because I've worked fucking hard. But yes,
yeah. I generally don't think people realize, and
Mm,
you might do
mhm,
because you see it happening. The amount of work that Paul puts into this. Yes, I fucking forced him to do it, but when I say I forced him to do it, I really forced him to do it. He does everything. We look at the way that we do is because of him. We like Facebook is I always class Facebook and the podcast something separate.
mhm,
But that has built a community that fuck
mhm,
me, like you don't see every day.
mhm,
So yeah, he puts a lot of work into it, and he and me have gotten quite a lot back out of it. The future is bright
mhm,
and the future is nerdy.
mhm.
So yeah.
Sarah's asking. Well, Sarah's asked a few questions, so I'll get one of the ones. So, what is your personal favorite episode so far, there, Sammy?
Oh God. Oh God. Do you know what I really loved? And this isn't to blow smoke up your ass, but I really loved doing the Goonies episode.
Right, because I
It was
like
the
cried
first
like a baby.
it was the first time in a long time that we sat down together, just
Hmm.
the two of us, just to do an episode.
Yeah.
And it was the Goonies of
Hmm.
all things. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I love when everyone gets together, and I thrive on. Oh God, I'm just chucking me spinny thing. I thrive on everyone. I love listening to people. Like even if I do, like the Buffy episode, for example, and a
Hmm.
fucking clue. I had not a clue. The Star Trek episode, hadn't a fucking clue.
Hmm.
But I love listening to people. I love fandom.
Hmm.
So I generally love listening to people, but there's something still a little bit more like special for us when it's just me
Hmm.
and you.
Yeah. The
So the
OGs.
Goonies, the OGs, the Goonies was a favorite.
Yeah, I've probably got two now. Again, it was probably the one that we reviewed that that you have been harping on about, and I didn't like the movie, but again, it was the way we looked at it, and we tried to. I looked at it as a what can I get out of it when we done The Exorcist, and not many people
Oh.
do watch The Exorcist one. It is one of our better episodes where we actually sit down and get into the movie so much more, and I know we have a laugh and stuff like that, but I felt we were quite professional on that. It sounds strange, but yeah. But the other one is when we totally got fucked over and thought we were watching a piece of shit, and it turned out not to be that bad. Was The Munsters?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was such. Do you know what? I think we all sat there because we all had our preconceptions of this, and we were all expecting to hate it. But when we all sat down and I think I might have broke the silence and went, I didn't mind it. And then it started from there.
Yeah.
It was such a good episode.
But it's strange how something as simple as that can just change it up, and you're probably going in. A lot of people think probably if they watch the episode, these are going to slag this movie off, and we really didn't. And if anyone watches it back, I would recommend watching the Monsters. Yeah, it feels like two movies you're watching at once, but there's elements to it where Rob Zombie got it right, and I hate to say it.
Yeah. I mean, I am a Rob Zombie fan, and I'll never forgive him for Halloween, but outside of that, I am a Rob Zombie fan, and it was just, do you know what? It was just fucking fun. It was just a fun fucking film, and I really enjoyed it.
Definitely. No. And sometimes that's all a film needs to be. I think a lot of people do get bogged down to it and said, well, it's got to mean something. It's got to have a twist.
Undertone.
It's got to be a thing. Sometimes films can just be A to B and just entertaining. You can just get lost in the magic from movie magic, for God's sake.
Love movie magic.
So another one, two of them asked as well, has Nerdy Up North introduced to any new nerdisms? Food. I didn't realize how much people nerded out over food.
I actually mentioned that in the article as well. It was the only example because she actually asked me what do you do? What is a nerd? And I was like, well, we class anything as nerdy, but mainly I think for yourself, it's to understand it, it's comic books, it's superheroes. But I went, but you'll find people nerd out over food, and they do. Any new fandoms?
I've been introduced to anime a lot more. I didn't realize. I know Donna's probably going to slap us in the face with doing SunnyCon and stuff. I didn't realize how much of a hotbed the Northeast is for anime.
I do because of the work I do with Carolyn.
Yeah,
I that's the only way I knew that. But my husband is obsessed.
Yeah.
He is one of them people, so I have to put up with it at home.
No, definitely. That was the big surprises. But I've always been quite quirky or been around quirky people as well, from college or the places I hang out. So I knew there was a market for it. But what I think again with doing Nerdy Up North is the big thing I realised there's not many places where people feel safe enough to discuss it or comfortable enough to discuss these things because you spent your youth or your life being ridiculed or mocked for liking these things.
I feel like you have to defend.
Yeah.
You go on the defence, which is what you'll find from me if you listen to our earlier episodes. I'm very much on the defence because that's how I felt like I had to talk.
Yeah. No, definitely. And Donna has asked a question, which I'll need to ask another question. How many donuts can you fit in your mouth at once? Depends on the size of the donut, Donna. Depends on the size of the donut.
If we're talking dinky ones, well. But it may surprise you, but my mouth is not that big. So
what are you trying to say about Ant? Bless him.
I have an issue with my teeth that and I can't open my mouth that way. You should see us try and take a bite out of an apple. It's hilarious. I make this huge gesture for about that, like the tiniest amount to come out. I just can't do it.
So
I am not helping myself right now. Donna, I hate you.
So new content for the podcast. What can Sam fit in her mouth? That's a new opener that we'll do. Like Sammy, a different thing that people can suggest or write in. Can Sammy fit this in her mouth?
I dare yous.
Martin asked as well, how much has the group helped you both grow yourself? Oh, we're going to go deep in this one.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go first? Because I went first on the last deep one.
Probably confidence-wise, doing things that I thought not in a million years I would be able to do, stand in front of a crowd at SunnyCon and talking about things like I'm passionate about in a way where I didn't freeze or didn't.
It was relatable.
Yeah, and didn't feel like it was something I couldn't get over. I've learned how to deal with people a little bit differently because I know I'm like say there's always two sides to me when it comes to when I was like, especially before I started doing those. I'm either too soft and I get walked over. That's one thing, or I'm an arsehole, and if you piss us off, I'll take you're a dick. That was always my approach to like how I interact with people because I've never had to deal with people online as much. And like I'll admit, when I first started Nerdy Up North, if you're a dick, you were treated like a dick. But there's reasons behind it as well. The more you interact with people, like I'll joke on with Lee because Lee was one of the people that nearly got banned when he started posting in the group because he started being a dick, making a political joke.
Lee, that's not you.
And he shit himself. I was like, okay, we'll have a private message. He went, no, I don't want to get removed from the group.
Lee.
But it's again not trying to like. I think what I pride myself most about dealing with people on Nerdy Up North, I don't want to make it out to be like a big thing. I'll not want it to be in private. Don't want a public argument or a public showing everything. I'd rather be just take it to the side and have a conversation, and you find out more what's going on. Like there's people that probably gets away a lot more in the group because I've had conversations in private and I know what's going on. And I'm not saying you excuse behaviour, but you can see it from a different vantage point. So instead of say banning someone outright, you give them a timeout, or you say out of order, so you give them a little break. And sometimes it's being rational as well, but I think that's probably been the biggest change is knowing not everyone will react or deal with something the same way as possibly I would.
Yeah. That's such a good answer. Very honest answer as well. I'd probably be my confidence, not like my confidence on here is fine. I'm okay with public talk, and I'm okay. Like, don't get us wrong. I think the first few episodes, I was like breaking it a bit, and we weren't even live. And then when we went live, I just didn't give a shit. Like, I didn't care. But it's probably more outside of the actual doing the recordings and more to do with the background of things. And one of them was of recently. I get terrified of contacting people. I don't like ringing people. I don't like emailing people. I don't even like making fucking appointments. Like I hate it. It makes us anxious. And when you asked about contacting Sunderland Global, I was like, right, do it because you need to do something. Like you need to start doing more shit like this. And it probably give us a bit of a boost.
Yeah.
Just sending that, it's so stupid, but just sending that fucking email was like, okay, you can do this, like it's okay.
Yeah. And as you said, you have different people on the podcast as well, and you react differently to them, and you change the way how you handle people as well. And I know more people wants to be on. It come to the stage now where we can't have everyone on that wants to be on. We've got to like look at it differently and say where fits and who fits, and see what kind of works for us. That's the thing. But again, that's probably going to change as well, because I'll be honest, like a lot of the episodes we've done over the last few months, we've probably had too many people, and people's voices and like thoughts might have got lost
Yeah.
in the shuffle, and that's not what we wanted to
And
have. Even though,
no, no,
mhm,
no, sorry, I was just going to say it's the likes of, I think Pooh Sarah has been on an episode with a lot of people on,
yeah,
and she does so much prep work for these episodes, and she probably only ever gets to say 20% of what she's wrote.
hmm,
Or do you know what I mean? And we don't want that. We want people, we have so much, we can do
hmm,
that we could give everyone a chance.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's all about growth. It's all about learning from your mistakes as well. And
Yeah.
but again, it's just trying to be clear of like understanding everything as well. That's always got to be the vantage point,
Yeah.
because again, with growth there comes different things and different things. But we're again trying to move away from that. Trying to keep it
Um,
nice and fluffy.
well,
But
I'm just gonna take a moment for myself right here, and just Lee has just said being on Sammy's podcast has been the highlight of my year. Lee, it was so much fun to have you on. I mean, I fucking hate you for taking me name away from us, with your really hard ass quiz, but I loved that you're on. It was so much fun. I think we aimed every episode for Lee of Game of Thrones.
yeah, that and again, not saying that the Game of Thrones thing was ever like badly done. It was just basically, I think we jumped too quickly on the Patreon side, which
Oh, 100%. We were so fucking I think I was probably more cocky than anything else. I was like, yeah, we can do this, and meh, meh, meh. And it just doesn't fucking work like that. We've got a long way to go, I think.
mhm,
We're just starting to, I feel even after 2 years, we're just getting it.
yeah, and that's the thing. And again, we'll always give something a chance, and that's what I'm always said. I'll never blame anyone or say, "Oh, this is anyone's fault," but things do happen, as you said.
Mhm.
Rather than moving away from the question side of things and just come back to what we've been watching, and there's one thing I've been watching as well that, again, because talking about food, I thought I'd bring it up, was MasterChef. Anyone else watching MasterChef in the chat? I don't know if you're watching it, Sammy. I'm getting really annoyed because they've changed the format and they've got the contestants actually talking to each other rather than just cooking. And they're going, "Oh yeah, really well done." It's like, you're in a fucking competition, knock over the salt, beat dicks to each other. But it's like too much fake nice. But the food looks nice now. But I think they're getting too many people that's actually professional or know what they're doing in it, because you're not getting all the mistakes that people are making now.
Yeah. This is hard to believe from me, given how you know how I am when it comes to food, and if I get hungry and how hungry I get. I am not a foodie.
Yeah, all right.
I am not a foodie person. My sister doesn't believe we're related half the time because I'm not a drinker. I'm not a foodie. Like I don't get excited about food.
Mhm.
Like I really wish I could, but I don't. I used to watch MasterChef, so to know that they talk to each other does seem a bit fucking stupid. Like I like the silence.
Mhm.
It worked. You're in a
Yeah.
competition.
But I know the Americans and, like I say, the Australian ones do like a completely different format. But I've always liked our format because it kind of works. But with everything, they tweak little things, like they've tweaked Great British Menu as well, which has always like been fun. But they've tweaked that now, so the chefs too many chefs cook on the same day and stuff. But I am a big fan of MasterChef, and like I say, it does make me so hungry. And Sarah's laughing at you as well, saying that she saw you how you attacked that burger, so you are a foodie, Sammy.
So Sarah, I was actually a vegetarian for a very long time and vegan for nearly 3.5 years. It's only been recently that I've started eating meat again because of it, purely just health reasons. And burgers is something I've really missed. So that's the reason why I get excited.
So I'm gonna throw a question at the chat, and so I'm gonna be a dickhead here. So, chat, you've got to make a choice. If you don't make a choice, I will judge you. Who is your favorite host? Chat. Are you a Sammy person or you're a Paul person?
Are you team Sammy or team Paul?
Yes. So that's the choices you have now to make. So that's ha ha
Oh,
ha.
oh, they're not answering me yet.
They're gonna be
I was going
quiet
to
now
see
and
who
go,
I'm
oh
getting
fuck.
angry at. Also,
Just
can we
remember,
just go back to
just
films
remember,
a minute?
Christoph. I'll put the picture back up. It'll go up there for a second. Remember who's your daddy?
Oh, Beth. Oh, Beth, that's a genius answer.
Pammy.
Pammy. Oh my gosh. We found out your own name.
Oh, I'm never going to get over that.
Fucking Pammy. Oh
Dear me.
gosh.
But yeah.
Oh, none of us. Thanks, Donna. Okay, so films,
Yes.
movies.
Movies. The picture soul.
The talky pictures. I watched the other day, and I know you've seen it, The Pope's Exorcist.
Yes.
I fucking really love that film.
I didn't like the start. I liked the end.
I love the end.
Yeah.
The start. No, I actually didn't mind the start because I love the explanation behind it, that it was not all exorcism was.
No, I'm sorry. I'll rephrase. I do like that element. I just didn't like the start of the exorcism part, like where they moved in the house, and everything seemed to happen so quickly. I would have preferred a slow burner.
A slow one. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. I love the kid. He fucking freaked me out badly.
Yeah. He's gonna have some mental trauma when he gets older as well.
Oh god, yeah. They don't. Do they put them in therapy after that? Because like they're gonna fucking need it.
Yeah.
It's just Russell Crowe. Like I don't go out my way to watch films with him in, but he was phenomenal.
He had a presence in this movie.
And it was a real person.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I loved the bit at the end, and the books were good.
And that was such a review.
Yeah, it's like it's totally about stories. He wrote many books. They were good.
And they were good. Thank you to the 7 people who voted. Appreciate it. Oh, I loved it. Was, do you know what? The whole aesthetic, and I love saying that word, but a whole aesthetic, the whole vibe of it, just oozed that really good possession movie that I've been like craving. I'm not like For All the Exorcist is one of it's my favorite film of all time, in line with Ghostbusters, but possession movies I can sometimes give or take them, like. But I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Not as much as the second one I watched that day, I might say.
No, which one was the second one?
Renfield.
Oh, this was the batshitest, craziest motherfucker of a movie I've ever seen.
This movie had no idea what it wanted to be. Was it horror? Was it a slasher? Was it action?
Was it everything
all
in one?
Was it a comedy?
I do say this, and I think I made a comment in the group. If they don't make a Nick Cage monster universe now, with Nick Cage playing each of the monsters, like Frankenstein's monster, the Invisible Man, have him as the Bride of Frankenstein, I do not fucking care. Just have him playing. Imagine Nicolas Cage as the Wolfman. Come on. This is money that is Hollywood needs to be made.
I am pinching this fucking idea because it is Wolfman next week on Monsters Up North. Oh my god, that would be I'd pay some good money for that, mind.
It would work so well.
He was phenomenal. He was fucking breathtaking.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they used the footage from Dracula in the beginning, that was just. That was genius. Nicholas Hoult. Wow, who knew? He's amazing. He was so good.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed him. I love the fact that they give Renfield like some fucking something about him,
bit
like
of spark,
yeah, like the Beatles fucking meant something. Like I know it was obviously is.
And I'll try. I would love to say her name, but I'll just totally fuck that up. Like, but she was amazing in as well. The copper lass.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I can't say her name, but she's in Shang-Chi. She was in something else recently as well, but she was the energy you get off her is ridiculous. Even in Shang-Chi, she kept me like pumped up for this film because her energy is unreal. I thought it was brilliant and hated every second of it.
Yeah.
He really didn't like it because he just didn't know where it was going, and I was like, "Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
Just go for the ride." Like I said, that's the thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was definitely in for that, and I thought it was one of those merry surprises that because you heard they were making this movie, and you thought Nicolas Cage's Dracula. It's either going to be one thing or the other. There's not going to be any middle ground. You're either going to love it or hate it. But I thought everything about it was done so well. Like even like there was a lot of special effects, but not in a way where it was overdone.
Oh, no.
But
no, there was a lot of blood. I honestly feel potentially could be more than even Evil Dead Rise. Like,
oh no,
there was a lot.
There was a lot, but not more than that, I think. But yeah, anyone as well, like Renfield, I would highly recommend to watch.
Yeah, it is such a good watch.
But I thought it'd be a nice little way to end this podcast as well, to talk about one movie that you watched last night instead of Eurovision.
Yeah, because I don't do that shit.
leaving us high and dry. But yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, Honor Amongst Thieves.
Yes.
What a fucking ride that was.
I just thought it was such a well-written movie, and you don't expect it to be well-written and cleverly done, and just, as you said, fun and little nods to things, so fans get little nods that like not so fans. Like I'm a big fan of the cartoon. If you watch this podcast thing, and having the cartoon characters in it just blew my mind.
That's it. So Ant's dad, he told us that it was up. And where to find it. But he was like, I was like, oh, did you enjoy it? Because we're going to watch it tonight. And he was like, well, I had to turn it off. And I was like, why? And he went, well, because I didn't get it. Like, there was no characters. Like, I don't know these characters that weren't from the cartoon. And I went, because it's not about the cartoon. And then when we saw them later on, Ant took a screenshot and sent it to his dad and went, you should have kept watching. It was such a thrill. I didn't realize how much of a Chris Pine fan I was until I watched it.
Yeah, say, what was the one he was in with Tom Hardy? This Is War. He's entertaining as fuck in that.
He's so good.
Yeah. But
sorry, my cat's deciding to climb on shit and I don't know what she's doing. But yeah, it was. I love Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. No, she's probably the best performance she's done in the last 10 years, shall we say?
I loved her. Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Did I get a shot? I was like, is that him?
There were so many good fun cameos, and again, I think we've talked about it before. Hugh Grant is making so many good decisions right now with movies and choices.
He's stepping out of his comfort zone, and it's fucking working. Seeing him in The Gentleman, I went, holy shit, that guy's got some fucking range. Because when you think of Hugh Jackman, you think of very stiff English, can do posh kind of acting. And we've seen it so many times with him. And then all of a sudden, The Gentleman, and you've got this cockney fucking Del Boy kind of type character. And it's like, and then in Dungeons and Dragons, he's so good. Like, it's such, I don't want to say it's a shame that we're getting it now. I'm just glad we're getting it at all. Like, no, it's brilliant.
Definitely. And it's all about the choices and things. This could have been a mess. Like, say, I know they've tried to do Dungeons and Dragons a few times in the past.
Yeah.
But everyone in it got what they were trying to do. And I didn't realise the young lass who was Beth out of it as well.
Yes, it took us a while. I'm like, I'm looking at her going, how do I know her? And I was like, oh God, it's her from it. I loved her. I loved her her bear owl or owl bear. We couldn't quite decide on which name we were going to go with. Owl bear, night.
I think it is. I think it's Sarah will probably keep us right in the chat. She's the D&G LARPer there.
It was just I didn't want to leave, in all honesty. You could kind of see where the story was going towards the end. But we didn't care, Megan, and we generally didn't give a shit. We were just sitting there going, why would he not? the guy who was in Bridgerton, who was phenomenal,
Yeah.
by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, loved him. When he turned around and said, your wife might,
Mm-hmm.
your wife has been gone so long, she may not want to leave the place that she's at. Did you
Yeah.
ever consider that?
Mm-hmm.
And it always makes me think of Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the decisions come, when Michelle Rodriguez's character's been stabbed,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, the decision was easy.
Yeah.
That's her mom.
Yeah.
That was her mother,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't take that away from her.
No. And
Because the woman that
yeah,
is gone, she doesn't know her.
yeah, and I like that element because they could have easily done a romantic element between Michelle Rodriguez and Chris Pine's character, and that
No.
wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have felt like
Mm-mm.
that would have been felt forced. It was like,
And,
as you said,
yeah.
the brother and sister thing. But
They said it right at the beginning. They made it very clear from the very start they were brother and sister.
yeah,
And the fact that she likes little isn't she's like a giant, it's just brilliant.
but I was howling at the start though when they were saying we're waiting for Jeff or John. I can't remember his name, and like you're thinking, oh, right, he's going to be like going to part of them or like have some reason, but because
Jonathan.
Jonathan, and he just was a falcon, so they were using him to fly out the window. I was like, fucking hell.
The fact that Hugh Jackman tried to do the same thing. Hugh Jackman, Hugh Grant tried to do the same thing, and they learned their lesson from it. But poor Jonathan. I honestly could go on that ride again. It was just so much. I love movies that are just fucking fun. Like, it wasn't a hard story to follow, even though we still weren't too sure about the crown. The helmet, sorry. We were a bit lost. We might have been talking when they were mentioning the importance, but the scene when they're bringing her dead relatives back was hilarious. And the questions had to ask five questions and say, well, what's your favorite color? Just to get him to go.
Yeah. And they left that one at the end, bless him. Like I said, they didn't finish the question off.
Ask me a question.
No. Remind us very much of Hellboy at that aspect, though. But no.
Yeah.
Very good
I loved
movie.
It.
Yes.
Really, really fun.
So, yes. So, I'll wrap it up because I know it's been a lot, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's been interesting, but it's been fun. I do, as you said, get a kick of when we do these type of like off the wall like type things. I know as I said before, there is going to be a lot of changes going forward with some of the episodes that we've got planned, haven't got planned. We are going to be making a few changes that we will contact people, like say when we want them to be involved as well. So that, like I said, to let them know. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I know there was a lot of questions we didn't ask, so it was hard to keep up. So I do apologise if I've missed anything, guys.
Yeah, we will do something like this, more in the future, just to have a bit of a rinse, have a bit of a clean out, get everything out that we need to. We do have a schedule now. Like, fuck me, we have a schedule. We have trekking up north on a Friday. We have the live show on a Sunday, and we have Monsters Up North on a Monday.
Yes.
We have a schedule, guys.
And there will be one-off stuff we do. So check out tomorrow, the Godzilla episode, the King of All Monsters tomorrow night at 7:00. There will be a premiere, so the chat will be available. Please check it out. Yes. The wonderful Dan and Jake will be dropping fonts of knowledge about these aspects as well.
That's it. It's fun factoids. If you tuned into the creatures one, it's fun factoids and some very hilarious conversations.
Definitely. And we actually haven't got a plan for next Sunday yet, so we've got to think about that. Oh no, actually it is. It's Futurama.
No, we do. It's
Futurama.
It's the one after we need to think. And that's going to be fun.
So Futurama with Goodwill and Jake. I think Goodwill and Jake on Sunday. I don't know. I think Goodwill's going back to the Dabble Wheel of Destiny to find out the choice of episodes that will be viewed. But he has a lot of good guests of the Trek world coming on, so please check it out. But yes, just want to say a big thank you guys for everyone who stuck with us.
Oh, yes, thank you. You guys are amazing. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment on this video.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yes,
Thank you all. Thank you all.
same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.